second career in finance.
Mm-hmm.
I think that subsequently I had an opportunity to look into the small and medium-sized enterprises, and that's where it's some of them obviously in the startup realm. So I have actually worked in advising companies in actually in the real estate technology side, as well as one on the potential acquisition for a data center services company, and I've also advised on a robotics company. And so, what first I want to maybe let everyone out there who is actually um, very entrepreneurial and having their own startups and ideas. I think it's important to know that this is something of statistics, but don't be discouraged by that. Is that I think usually is that
Yes.
8 out of 10 uh, startups right actually don't make it through the funding round. I think this is pretty much the statistics, right? And I guess that is the nature of the business. And then for venture capitalists, right, when they invest as well, they are actually careful, but of course they have to take risk as well. And that's why I think that you will see that the success rate, if you can achieve a hit rate of 50%, you're considered outstanding. Yeah. But usually what people are looking for is that you have one or two good hits, right? And that gives you a huge multiple of return, and that's what venture capitalists look for. Okay, I think for starters, I think what VCs look for, and I've sat on the VC side and looking at companies and doing all the the scrutiny, but I've also helped entrepreneurs to sit on the company side so that to advise them what to look for and to prepare. So I think as far as your question, then I say that yeah, once when there's some certainty of revenue, then I think you can look
Mm.
for financing. And usually some of the VCs as well is when they look at coming in at the Series A level, because they can't look at profitability because this is like startup, and then when people look at it, right, people cannot
Mm.
you don't have the 3 years of audited
Yes.
accounts, da da da, and all that. So what they do is that even 1 year they just look at what your revenue is, uh, uh, what you have achieved, and sometimes
Mm.
they'll just take a 3 to 4 times multiple of the revenue and say, well, this is the kind of valuation I would value you at, and then I will put X amount of money, and that X amount of money divide by versus this valuation is the kind of percentage I want to take the stake in your company.
I see. Oh, okay. So they do a roll forward as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Estimation. Yeah.
So that's when obviously when they see that there's potential lah, right?
Mm.
One example. Let me see. Okay. Now one example that I give one example that works and one example that doesn't work. Okay. Typical went through an M&A of a company that is actually a data center equipment and services provider. They have been running business for so long. The founder wants to retire, and then we look at this particular company. These companies are always just run of the mill, steady state, some base clients they have. So when you look at that, right, we just say, okay, how much earnings, net earnings, or maybe even something
Mm.
look at
Yes.
EBITDA, earnings before
Yep.
income tax and depreciation allowance. So then you would just take a market benchmark and say, okay, I would then take, maybe I'll look at it and see if the company is good. Yeah, I might say the range is between 3 to 5 times multiple of your earnings, not revenue.
Yes.
Okay,
I see. Mm.
yeah, and the simple logic is is very clear. Is that why they use the earnings approach? Because there's already been market precedent.
Among the three C's, which C is more important than the others? Or what should the weightage be like?
Hmm. Okay, so that question, right? To answer the question, right? The if I from a VC standpoint, I look at those three C's, right? Different
Mm.
companies will have different weightage of C's to me.
Mm.
Okay, if that company is, let's say, for example, production, and they got all the
Mm.
process ready and all the things running inside there, then the capability and deliverable risk is very important. And if the key man risk, if there's I guess if it's so production based, right, then the collaboration aspect doesn't be have such a strong emphasis for me, because it's all processes and manufacturing, right? And then the character portion is important, equally important, But I guess if there's a breadth of players who actually contributed to the processes and the product itself,